It's Matt Donahue with Mission Financial Planners. Here is your weekly update for the week ending, Friday, March 15th. Happy St. Patrick's Day, everyone. Happy first day of spring. Happy International Women's History Month. And for those of you in San Antonio, happy Fiesta, which is coming up real soon for us in San Antonio. Okay, we're going to talk about the markets. We're going to do our philosophy quote. We'll talk taxes. And we're going to talk about diet soda. So diet soda, if you're from Minnesota like I am, it's diet pop, right? But I got made fun of for saying pop in the Army, and I've never said pop again, except for on today's webinar or on today's podcast. So let's go ahead and let's just talk about the market. So the major indices, they took a little bit of a breather last week, right? They slipped for the second week in a row. Markets daily gain on Tuesday was offset by declines later in the week. The modest two-week retreat was in contrast to the 4-month rally that preceded it, period when the S&P rose 16 out of 18 weeks. Inflation is still sticky. A pair of reports showed that inflationary pressures are stubborn even as U.S. interest rates remain at their highest level since 2001. Report issued Tuesday on consumer prices and a Thursday update on producer prices both recorded price gains that were slightly higher than most economists had expected. The consumer price index came in at an annual 3.2% rate in February, up from 3.1, not up 3.1, up from 3.1% the previous month. Yield surge. Yields of U.S. government bonds rose as that inflation data produced a shift in interest rate outlook. After retreating the previous week to 4.08%, the yield of the 10-year Treasury rebounded to close at 4.31% on Friday. Oil rally. Tightening oil supplies. The price of U.S. crude rose about 4% for the week, reaching a peak of around $81.60 per barrel. That was on Thursday afternoon, although the price slipped around $81 on Friday. Oil remained near its highest level in almost 4 months. I bought an electric car this weekend, so personally, I don't care. Just what it is. But we'll see. Hopefully, oil doesn't stay high for long. Bitcoin retreat. Hey, just last week, Bitcoin hit an all-time high. The price of the most widely traded crypto pushed even higher. It hit 73,000 on Wednesday, but it pulled back later in the week, and it was trading around 68,000 on Friday, close to where it ended last week. Year-to-date, crypto is up more than 60%. And retail moderation. February's 0.6% gain in U.S. retail sales was slightly below the consensus estimate of economists. However, the result marked an improvement from the 1.1% decline posted in January. Updated January reading reflected an adjustment from an initial estimate of a 0.8% decline. Small caps are still lagging, folks. A benchmark of U.S. small cap stocks lagged its larger peers by a wide margin. Expanded small caps year-to-date performance deficit. The Russell 2000 was down 2% for the week. And the Fed ahead. The Fed Reserve is expected to keep its interest rate unchanged at the two-day meeting that concludes on Wednesday, and federal observers will watch for any clues about the timing of eventual rate cuts this year. Based on Fed funds futures trading, most investors expect the Fed's pivot to rate-cutting mode is likely to begin June or July. So we'll all go off on the 4th. We'll come back and interest rates will be lower. We'll see what happens. What's coming up this week? We got a lot of data coming out this week. So today, Monday, Housing Market Index, National Association of Home Builders. Tuesday, housing starts, U.S. Census Bureau. Wednesday, U.S. Federal Reserve Board concludes its 2-day policy meeting. Jerome Powell is going to hold a press conference. Thursday, the Conference Board Leading Economic Index for the U.S. is coming out. Existing home sales is coming out from National Association of Realtors. And weekly unemployment claims will come out from the U.S. Department of Labor. I guess all the major reporting bureaus and everything else are taking Friday off because there are no major reports scheduled for Friday. Philosophy quote of the week. This is a good one. Impossible without your consent. If you want to read this, definitely check out our blog because we have essentially the transcript of this is posted every week to our blog. You can always visit that at www.missionfinancialplanners.com. Just click on updates and you'll see our blog in there as well. You can also go to our YouTube channel. I know we're posting this on LinkedIn today. We're also posting it on YouTube at the same time. So just look for Mission Financial Planners in YouTube and you'll find it there as well. But the philosophy quote for the week, impossible without your consent. Today I escaped from the crush of circumstances, or better put, I threw them out, for the crush wasn't from the outside, but in my own assumptions. And that is from the Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius's Meditations. What does that mean? Well, hey, when you feel like the walls are closing in, it's just because you feel like the walls are closing in. They're not. It's your reaction, right? That's what we should be thinking about, right? Is what is our reaction to these big events that are occurring around us? Are we acting in moderation, or are we jumping off a cliff with everybody else? Probably want to act in moderation. Probably want to act in moderation. I do. Do I always succeed at that? My business partners, my wife Crystal, could certainly tell you I do not always succeed in that. But it's worth trying to get there. It's worth trying to get there. All right, some tax tips. Tips about taxable and non-taxable income. First thing, folks, all income is taxable unless there's an exclusion in the IRS code that says it isn't. Okay, so everything's taxable unless there's an exclusion. Some types of income that actually are not taxable are going to be like life insurance proceeds, income from a qualified scholarship, provided it's for tuition and required books. If you received a state or local income tax refund, that amount could be taxable. Your state will give you a 1099-G. They'll ask you to submit that with your federal return. Other types of income that are usually not taxable: gifts and inheritances, child support payments, welfare benefits, damage awards for physical injury or sickness, cash rebates from a dealer or manufacturer for an item you buy, reimbursements for qualified adoption expenses, alimony payments, and foster care payments. Big question comes up a lot, and a lot of you have met us through Social Security Planning for Women. And we hear all the time from people that, hey, I did the break-even analysis on Social Security, and that means that I should file at 62 because if I had died by 77, I got the exact same dollar amount. The question I always ask them is, did you include the tax considerations of that into your equation? And the answer I always get is, no, I didn't. So Social Security benefits. If you have earned income and are over certain thresholds, up to 85% of your Social Security benefits can be taxed at your income tax rate. That does not mean you give up 85% of your benefits as a tax. It means that 85% of your benefits are subject to tax. Okay, so there's a big difference there, right? 85% of your benefits are going to be subject to tax. Okay, and that's if you have taxable income. Some of you might not. There are 26 states that do not tax Social Security benefits as well. So in addition to the federal tax break you're going to get, regardless of whatever state you're in, you've also got a plurality of the states that do not charge you as well. Okay, diet or health tip of the week, not the diet tip of the week, health tip of the week. We talked about diet last time, right? And ways to do healthy dieting. Well, diet soda. This is an argument that I think a lot of people have. And I know my wife and I wonder about this because we probably drink more diet soda than we should. I mean, I've got the 36 pack of Diet Dr. Pepper in the fridge in the garage. She likes her Diet Coke, right? I mean, yeah, it's what it is. But is it good or it's bad for you, right? Does it actually help? Well, there's we've got kind of a lengthy article on this week, so I'll just hit you with some of the highlights. So first of all, there's no nutritional value of any kind in diet soda, okay? And in fact, not all diet sodas are entirely no calorie or sugar free. They can also contribute to some health conditions. It isn't nutritious. It's carbonated water, some sweeteners, which could be things like aspartame, saccharin, sucralose, herbal sweeteners like stevia, but it's still got some kind of sweetener in it. Me, for example, I'm actually allergic to sucralose, which I learned the hard way. I drank a Diet Pepsi, and this is not to knock Diet Pepsi. It's just what they happen to use. I can't drink it. And the reason why is I'm going to be in the bathroom about an hour and a half later. It's just what happens to me. So anything with sucralose, anytime I get some diet thing, anytime I get a protein shake, anytime I get protein bars or anything like that, I'm always looking for what's the sweetener if they have one. And if it's sucralose, I don't buy it. I just don't. Acid, citric, malic, phosphoric acid. They can break down your teeth. Colors, right? Carotenoids, anthocyanins. Hopefully I'm saying that right. Caramels, lots of flavors, different preservatives. Some will have some vitamins or minerals put in them, and then there is caffeine. Okay, if you're looking for the biggest bang for your buck and you're trying to figure out, which one gives me the most caffeine, Coke or Pepsi, check out our blog post. It'll tell you which one. Okay, so effects on weight loss. Does it help? Well, believe it or not, observational studies, not clinical studies, but observational studies do link diet soda to obesity. But it's not clear why, right? Is it because it doesn't act as a hunger suppressant in any way because there's no calories in it at all? Is it because someone who's already overweight is trying to drink that, but then they're ordering the Big Mac with the extra large fries, right? I mean, who knows? Who knows? And they don't know either, like the ubiquitous they, right? Some studies link diet soda to diabetes and heart disease, okay? Again, observational studies can link diet soda to type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure, and an increased risk of stroke. There could be other factors causing that, though. Kidney health. Drinking a lot of soda can also lead to kidney disease, or a lot of diet soda. If diet soda does cause this, the potential reason could be the increased acid load on the kidneys. And it's also linked to preterm delivery and childhood obesity. Okay. Bad things, good things. Some other effects could reduce a fatty liver. No increase in reflux, no strong links to cancer. It can change the gut microbiome, so all those bacteria that are down here, right? Which could lead to a higher risk of type 2 diabetes, increased risk of osteoporosis, tooth decay, and there's even some links to depression, right? So bottom line, there's a lot of conflicting evidence about diet soda. The key, and it's amazing how this always happens, the key is probably to go back to the philosophy quotes that we've been sharing. Moderation, right? Moderation. If you've already had a Diet Coke today, yeah, maybe it's time for some water, right? Or maybe it's time for some good old-fashioned coffee, right? Who knows? But anyways, anyone has any questions, please reach out. As you know, you can reach out on our website, www.missionfinancialplanners.com. Feel free to direct message me, right? You can call or text me, actually, at 726-727-6581. Once again, 726-727-6581. Thanks again, everyone. Have a fantastic week, and we will talk next week.